We just had the most incredible wildlife show. That goes down in the books as one of my favorite sailing days ever. Just effortlessly sailing through this incredible fjord.
And this anchorage might be one of the coolest ones I've ever been to. It is like a rock amphitheater in here.
Actually.
With a full-on view out into the inlet.
Today's really exciting because we are heading up into the heart of the coastal mountain range where glaciers, ocean, and rainforest meet, which is a similar trip to our Butte Inlet trip last summer.
I'm hoping for grizzly bears, mountains, glaciers, hot springs.
The hot springs is the reason we're going. So there's a couple of hot springs up there that we'll talk about a bit later. Yeah, we're super excited. It's a beautiful sunny day.
Lots to see and explore along the way.
And it's just going to be an awesome trip. We're really, really stoked.
So let's get the hook out of the mud and get on our way. So I just put the line back out to troll behind the boat. We caught a salmon on the way in here a few days ago, so fingers crossed we might snag another one on the way out. It's almost at slack, which apparently is a great time to be fishing, so fingers crossed we catch one.
I thought we caught a fish there for a second, but false alarm. It was just sort of, oscillating with the engine.
Yeah, exactly.
So no luck on the fishing front as we were coming out of the anchorage, but we've just ran at the point here into Burke Channel. We've got beautiful wind coming out of the southeast, so we are rolling out the head sail and going to try and sail here for a little bit. This is Burke Channel. Over 70 kilometers of mountain-framed glory cutting deep into the Central Coast region of British Columbia, Canada. This huge expanse of wilderness, known as the Great Bear Rainforest, is the largest tract of temperate rainforest in the world, home to some of the most biodiverse and unique wildlife on the planet. But getting here is difficult. Granite Goliaths rise straight out of the sea to peaks of over 2,000 meters. So few roads reach this rugged coast, making this area so remote it is only accessible by plane or boat. Our route of choice? Sailing our small ship up a 10,000-year-old waterway carved out by glaciers of the last ice age. To sail among the mountain fjords here is to experience a truly unique part of the world. Beautiful sunny day, so warm. The seas are glassy calm. Really stoked to turn that engine off and get to sail and hope that this wind sticks with us for a little while.
We're just here at the entrance to Burke Inlet. It's about a 50-mile run all the way up to Bella Coola up in the mountains, but much like Butte Inlet, Burke Channel is glacial carved, it has very steep sides, and basically like the cliffs that you see along the side of the channel, they just go straight down into the ocean about 1,000 feet. So there isn't really a lot for anchorages along the way. There is basically one river about halfway up, about 25 miles from here, and that's anchorable, but again, you're on a pretty steep drop-off mud slope. So I think we're going to try to get to there today. There's not much for weather over the next couple of days. It's meant to be fairly settled, which is a good time to come up inlets like this. Hopefully in a week or so, the northwesterlies will come back up and we can come back out Dean Channel and then sail around again.
Since we're only going a knot and a half, we're gonna put the main up and see if we can increase our speed a little bit. The wind pretty well on a beam reach.
Yeah, it's definitely worth having the main up, I think. A little bit of extra canvas should hopefully make better advantage of this light wind that we have. We've been actually trying to practice lately putting the main up without turning the engine on, which has been pretty fun. We've basically been sheeting in the head sail nice and tight and using it to hold the boat upwind. You can let the boom ride out into irons and then hoist the main, much like you would if you were reefing. So that's been good practice for us.
I'm just down in the galley making some lunch. I'm making a chickpea salad, just using up everything that's sort of in the fridge. Some cucumber, carrots, chopped onions, kale, seasoned with some curry powder, mayo mustard, hemp seeds. There's a couple of other ingredients, some fresh herbs and stuff. So I've made like a salad, and then I'm gonna roll it up into a wrap because it's just easy to eat a handheld on board and less plates and dishes to mess up. It's kind of a classic. When we're out of protein, we just open a can of chickpeas and make something like this. It kind of takes the place of like an egg salad, but it's really, really good. Perfect thing to enjoy while we're underway here.
Yum. Really, really good. That wrap was freaking delicious. I don't know what Al put in it, but she needs to write that one down. Very, very tasty and really filling. Like the chickpeas, they go through really nice and quick, but like they really fill you up in the moment, which is exactly what you want in a little handheld while you're sitting here sailing.
We're in the bait ball. Looks like we're gonna catch a bird. We just had the most incredible wildlife show.
That was really freaking cool. We were just sailing up and some birds started to cluster like a couple hundred meters in front of the boat. And you know, you just think that they're being birds, and then as we're sailing by them, you can see these schools of fish just swimming around on the surface. And there's eagles flying over the hill on one side, there's falcons coming in from the other, all sorts of birds just coming in and attacking this ball of fish. The big finale was when a freaking whale just came up and went, ate the whole thing, and the birds then just all buggered off again.
Well, you called it. You were like, all we need now is a whale to come up and grab it. And then it did.
It just did. I was like, oh, that has to be what happens. It was really cool. There's actually a really interesting thing. Out in the mouth of the channel, the ocean floor is about 400 feet in the mouth of it, but then it comes up really shallow to about 150, and there's a whole bunch of really weird current happening there. And then as we've come along the inlet now past that area, it's dropping back off to about 600 feet. So I think the current helps to push all of the bait fish up to the surface there. And it's kind of like a little jump, you know, like the current swoops up, it gets really fast and turbulent in there, and all the bait fish get confused and come up to the surface. But it's really cool to see. You always see them off in the distance. We've never sailed through one that close before. as we get further into the channel here, the wind seems to be funneling more directly straight down it, which is awesome because we can spread the sails and go wing on wing and make the best use of the wind. We can capture as much of it as we can without flying a spinnaker. And that is freaking awesome because we're going directly straight up the inlet at 4 knots, which is like a little bit faster than I'd probably be motoring anyway. And we're not burning any fuel at all. We are sailing too fast to be trawling though, which is unfortunate. Speed! I love it when we hit hull speed.
This is it.
That's amazing. 6.8. Woo! Beam reaching. All right. Now we just made the first turn to continue up the inlet. So we're just a beam to the wind for a second and the boat just shot off like a hawk. Freaking amazing. And now we're scooting along at hull speed on the boat in what is probably the most delightful conditions possible. Completely smooth seascape and like 10 knots of wind on the beam with mountain views, thick forests. It doesn't really get any better than this.
It's like the best sailing day ever, actually.
You never get like this kind of flat sea sailing when doing hull speed.
Will it continue?
The winds are being pretty shifty as we're coming further up the channel here. Most of the time they're flowing fairly well just straight up, which means that we can run downwind, but periodically you get gusts that come up over the mountains and then back down into the water, and all of a sudden you'll be from like downwind to on a beam and then back again, which makes running wing on wing really sketchy because you just flip your main back and forth and break your gooseneck, which isn't what we want to be doing. So we rigged up a preventer this time, which has worked pretty well. We just tied a bowline around the center of the boom, pull it down to the tow rail and then back to a winch so that when the boom is out and you want to make sure that it doesn't accidentally jibe, you can just pull it in on the winch and clean it off and call it good, which makes you feel much more secure about sailing downwind, wing on wing, because you only have to worry about keeping the genoa open.
In the summertime, these inlets tend to get inflow winds, so you get warm summer air being sucked into the cold mountain area, creating this sort of inward draft, and you're just getting sucked up into the inlet all day long. In this area, those winds typically start around 10 a.m. and they don't end till sunset, which is perfect. The winds will die off overnight and you get a nice, calm, settled evening where you can float around comfortably on the hook, not have to worry too much. Last year, we did a very similar journey up an inlet called Butte Inlet, which is south of here. And this is sort of the sailing that we anticipated from that trip. That was not our experience last year. We ended up having to motor the full 75 nautical miles. Today, though, we're getting exactly that. We're seeing this summer inflow wind all day long. We've covered about 20 nautical miles up Burke Channel, and it just keeps getting better. We're like midway up the inlet now, and we're starting to see some incredible snow-capped peaks. We're planning to duck into an anchorage called Cathedral Point. It's a little cove sort of off the inlet that should be relatively easy for anchoring. There's a note on avionics saying that it has a really rocky bottom, but then our old cruising guide said that there's relatively good holding in about 4 fathoms of mud. So we might need to plop our hook in a couple different places, but we'll deal with that when we get to it.
We've got about 10 miles or so to go to Cathedral Point Cove. You can see the cliffs off in the distance. I'm really loving how higher up in the channel here, the wind has really stabilized. It's way less shifty than it was earlier. It's no longer blowing over the mountains, but it's just funneling gently straight down the channel, which is perfect because it means that we don't have to keep doing sail changes. We can just stay wing on wing, flying straight downwind, and it just steers you around all the corners. Absolutely bliss. The sun's on your back, you're nice and warm, you're just floating gently down with the breeze. So you can't have the scope out to swing. I mean, you could dump like right out in the middle and swing, but you could still only have like 3 to 1 out, maybe 4 to 1 out. And I think I'd prefer to be tucked right in and not swinging and feel a little bit more secure.
Okay.
So I think we're going to stern tie up to the cliff here. The anchorage is quite narrow, so it makes it really difficult to comfortably swing 360 degrees. So our plan is to drop the hook where we want the hook to be. If it grabs really well, then we'll deploy the dinghy, set up our stern tie, and then I'll back the boat over to the stern tie, we'll hook it up and pull the boat into shore.
much you want out?
It's 120.
Okay, 120.
Lock it.
It's feeling okay. Feeling good.
Oh, it starts revving up.
Yeah. It's feeling good. Well, I got my boot really wet. Okay, the mission. The ropes are in pretty good condition. The one I tied to definitely looks the best, so that should be good. Now I just have to scramble back over these rocks and get back to the boat.
Well done, Al. You did a great job. That looked really difficult.
Thanks.
Is it nice and secure up there?
I think so.
Yeah, I seen you giving it a good yank. Well, it's always a bit of a logistical hassle setting up a stern tie. And this one was no different. We always get a little bit nervous because where you want your hook for when you're stern tied usually means that you're swung close to the shore. So when we set up, we like to put our hook down first, kind of shortchange the road after it's set so that you're not getting blown too far off where you need to be. Set up our stern line, we brought the boat over, let out a little bit more road to get over here, and then Al paddled back with the stern line. I met her with the boat, we connected them together, and then we can feed the anchor rod out as we pull the boat back towards shore. And now we have a 5-to-1 scope out set in soft mud, and we're nice securely stern tied to shore with the wind blowing us, putting most of the weight of the boat straight onto the stern tie rather than relying on the hook that's set in the soft mud. So that makes me feel a lot bit more comfortable about this anchorage. There wasn't quite enough swing room in the bay between the two narrow shores to have a good 5-to-1 scope out if the wind did pick up out here. So this way it ensures that we've got the appropriate scope out as well as the security of being tied to shore, which is double bingo. That way you're not floating around aimlessly and worried about dragging. You only have the slight little bit of force actually acting on the anchor because most of the boat is being supported by the stern line. A lot of work though. Al's a trooper. That looked really, really tough. I don't know how you did it. That's like a straight up cliff face. You climbed up and then found somewhere and set up a 200-foot line. Good job. I'm really proud of you.
What a day.
What a freaking day, hey?
I'm buggered.
It was a good day. Good day though.
It was a really, really good day, but I'm really tired. Filming, navigating. We did a lot of jibing and we set it up for wing on wing like 5, 6, 7 different times.
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank you. And then the last anchoring saga to finish it off.
I know. Wow. Rock solid.
Full on.
Full on.
But that goes down in the books as one of my favorite sailing days ever.
Yeah, that was
Like,
killer.
Yeah. Like,
We so badly wanted that experience last year when we motored up Butte, and to have it this time coming up Burke, it's just phenomenal. Like, what would you say, 10, 15 knots of wind, downwind all the freaking way.
it only intensified as the day went on.
It was
So,
perfect. It was like we were riding the front of it the entire time.
yeah. It was warm, sunny, beautiful views, just effortlessly sailing through this incredible fjord
Yeah.
on the
Phenomenal.
Discovery Coast.
Oh,
Holy.
it's very, very cool. And this anchorage might be like one of the coolest ones I've ever been to. It is like a rock amphitheater in here
Actually.
with a full-on view out into the inlet. It's really, really cool. Cliff face you climbed up and then found somewhere and set up a 200-foot line. Good job. I'm really proud of you.
And we're the only ones, once
Oh
again.
yeah, once again, only ones. We haven't really seen two boats today. There was the motor cruiser that was kind of fishing alongside where we were sailing the entire day. And then there was one little runabout skiff that we seen just as we were coming in.
Yeah, and he went into the inlet, and I made note in case.
Yeah.
I was like, there's one other human up here if we get into trouble, and he's down that way. So
Totally.
we'll find him.
Anyway, I think it's time for us to relax.
Yeah.
We've certainly earned it today. Cheers.
Well, cheers again.
Cheers to you.
Give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. If you are interested to support our video production, you can check out our Patreon page. For as little as $3 a month, you'll be supporting our adventures videos.
Yeah, our production of the videos, really. It helps us buy new gear, it helps pay for the editing programs and the music licenses, which all cost us money. But we do it for the fun of it, and it's a really cool thing to be able to share with you all.
Yeah. So,
Help us out, or buy us a beer.
oh yeah, just buy us a beer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you all next week.
Cheers.